So today I thought I will speak on maybe on politics. Do you want to hear on politics? You may be wondering why this monk is thinking of speaking on politics, you see. So since the election is around the corner, you are going to elect somebody, okay. So what is Buddhist attitude? What was the Buddha's message, advice for politics, especially the ruler? When I say politics, it means the ruler. But in today's time, there is no ruler. There is politics, democracy. You see. So, what is Buddha's advice? For the politics, for the politicians, for the rulers. So, I will speak from the Buddha's teaching, so that it may be helpful for you to vote, whom to vote, what kind of that person should be, whom you are going to vote. You have some clarity, right? So I will read out from the Buddha's teaching on politics. The title is When the Kings Are Unrighteous, or the opposite, when the kings are righteous, which means when the leader, in today's time we call them leader, right? When the leader are righteous, which means they are good, they have good qualities, they are not corrupted. You see, this is the topic. So the Buddha is saying, when the kings are unrighteous, the royal vassal become unrighteous. Which means, when the leader is not good, corrupted, then the ministers, they become corrupted. When the royal vassals are unrighteous, the Brahmins and householder become unrighteous. Which means, the other community, you see, the academician, the Brahmins in the modern world, you can say the academician who are in academic, the academician, the professors, the teachers, and the householder, which means the family men, all the family men that are there, or other working class, they become corrupted. When the Brahmins and householders are unrighteous, the people of the towns and countryside become unrighteous. So, when the academicians and the higher people, they become unrighteous, then the general people become also unrighteous. When the people of the town and countryside are unrighteous, the sun and moon proceed off course. So now the effect will be on the sun and moon, you see, which means the nature. So what we can understand here is that if people are corrupted inside, if people are unrighteous inside, then the nature becomes bad. The nature become wrong or polluted, or even the sun and moon doesn't have proper setting. When the sun and moon proceed of course, the constellation and the star proceed of course. So the other things in the universe, like the stars and other, they also go in a wrong way. When the constellation and the stars are proceed of course, day and night proceed of course. So there will be problem in the day and night as well. The months, likewise the moon, the fortnight, the season, the years. So there will be some impact on the season. I feel, as we know that day and night is connected to the sun and the earth, the earth which moves, as you know, and then it moves around the sun. If people are too much corrupted in the world, then that arrangement of the sun and moon is somewhat tilted, is somewhat not in the right position, because of which the season becomes a little bit diverted. So like that it is there. When the seasons and year proceed of course, the wind blows of course and at random. So the wind also blow in a very wrong way. You see, there is no randomly. So there is effect. There is effect on the wind. As you know, all these things are connected. When the winds blow of course and at random, the deities become upset. So the devatas who are there, the Bhuma devatas, they also become upset. When the deities are upset, sufficient rain does not fall. So you don't have proper rainfall. There is a problem in the rainfall. When the sufficient rains does not fall, the crops ripen irregularly. So there is effect on the crops. When the people eat crops that ripen irregularly, they become short-lived, ugly, weak, and sickly. So when the crops they ripen irregularly, you see, then there is a problem in the human being live less. They look ugly, weak, and sickly. So like that, then the Buddha said the opposite of it, when the kings are good. So what we can understand from this teaching is that the leaders should be righteous, should be good, and it has a tremendous impact on the whole society, all the way till the common man. You see, so this is what we can see. So as you vote, you have to see the right people whom you are going to vote, who are who are good, who are righteous, who have good qualities. So one has to see that, because it has impact on us, because it has impact on us as an individual. It has impact on the nature. It has impact on, you can see, on the food, on sun, moon, season, so many things. You see. So today we speak about global warming. You see, we say the problem is in carbon emission. We say the problem is in industrialization. But what Buddha is saying is the leader. You see, not industrialization. Of course, in Buddha's time there was not a big industrialization, but still, the leaders are important, because if the leaders are important, they can of course do even the industrialization in a very moderate way, in a right way. You see, so the leaders are very important for the society. So therefore, as you vote, please consider it. Consider to vote to the right people whom you have some idea that, okay, this candidate is, because you choose in your own constituency. So of course you may be aware in your own constituency who is a bit more better, of course nobody is fully perfect, but should be good to some extent at least, you see. So this is what the Buddha says on politics, you see. And then there is one more teaching, similar teaching that I would like to share with you, and it is about again the leaders. Okay, it is leaders, and what is the duty of the leader? It is called providing for the welfare of the people. So there was this, Buddha says that there was this king Mahavijita in the past, not in the Buddha's time, but in the past. But Buddha is telling to a Brahmin, Kutadanda. The Brahmin name is Kutadanda. So he is telling to this Brahmin that there was a king called Mahavijita in the past. You know, he was very rich. He had so many lands and wealth, and he wanted to do a sacrifice, you know, because at that time the sacrifice was considered as an animal sacrifice. You know, you do some animal sacrifice so that the gods will be happy. That was the belief, you know. But this, there was one, in fact it was Buddha only in the past, when he was not Buddha, he was Bodhisattva. So he was the advisor to the king, you know. And Buddha and the king asked this advisor that I want to do sacrifice for my happiness, so that my wealth is secure, you know. But then this Buddha, he says that, you see, the king, your country is unsafe because there are a lot of robbers, a lot of thieves, you know. There is a lot of chaos because people are unemployed, you know. A lot of people are unemployed. So because they are unemployed, because of unemployment, there is rebel, there is insurgent against the country, against the king, you see. So what Buddha is suggesting, not at that time Bodhisattva, he is saying that he says, and I will tell, Buddha is saying that if you just give fine, threat, if you execute, if you give punishment, this is not the solution. Just putting people into jail and giving punishment is not the solution. It is temporary solution, not the permanent solution. So what Buddha is saying, Bodhisattva is saying, not Buddha, Bodhisattva, that he is saying that to those in the kingdom who are engaged in cultivating crops and raising cattle, distribute grain and fodder. Somebody who is into cattle business, you have to give them some of cattle food and fodder, and then grain, you know, that is seed. To those in the trade, give capital. Somebody who is in business, give some grant, financial support to them, you know. To those in the government service, assign proper living wage. If somebody is a government servant, give them good salary. Then those people, being intent on their own occupation, will not harm the kingdom. So if the king gives some money to the business community, to the farming community, they will be busy in their work, so they will not trouble the king. Your majesty, revenue will be great, the land will be tranquil and not beset by thieves, and the king will give good tax, you know, because people are working, people are earning, so the government will get tax, you know, and there will be peace. There will be nobody is into robber and thieves. Why? Because everybody has job. And the people with joy in their hearts, playing with their children, will dwell in open houses. So people will be happy. They will be happy with their family. They will have children, and they will be playing in the open house, which means you don't need to lock the house, because there will be no much thieves. You know, there will be no much problem. So like that, so saying, so the king exactly did like that, and whatever he suggested, it just happened. So the king accepted the advice. He gave grains and fodder to those engaged in cultivating crops and raising cattle, capital to those in trade, likewise, he did. So what we can see here is, if the government gives grant, support to the business community, to the farming community, then people get job. A job can be created when there is business happening, when there is a new new entrepreneurship is happening. So a lot of people get job. When they get job, there is no problem. So you can see that unemployment can be a problem for the country, a big problem for the country, and it will affect so many people eventually. People will be into crime, into robbery, like that. So this is also one of the advice the Buddha gave for the leaders, for the rulers, for the kings. So this is what we can understand from the Buddha's teaching. And also, as an individual, also you have to find a job. Okay, get a job or do a business, something like that, so that you are settled, so that you have no worry, So you can see that as every individual must be busy in something good. If you are not engaged in your job, if you are free, then your mind will have a lot of thoughts. Your mind will be occupied with some unnecessary thinking, overthinking, confused. So please do some job. Don't wait for the perfect job. Do whatever job you can do immediately. Don't wait for the perfect job. If you are into business, just start in a small way. Don't wait for the big money. Just do it. So just be. That's also helpful. You see, because you may not do robbery or thieves. If, let's say, you have money, you have some income source, or say you have some kind of reserve fund, but you still have to be busy, because your own mind will become robber, thieves. Your own mind becomes a robbery for you, robber for you, because as Buddha said, your mind can be the biggest enemy, and your mind can be the biggest friend. You see, so I think I can also see in this teaching, apart from the job and business, it also means that you have to occupy it in something. You shouldn't be just you shouldn't be wasting time. You shouldn't be just engage in nothing. You have to keep yourself occupied in something. So this is what Buddha is trying to say. And as a citizen of the country, it is your responsibility, now in the democratic system, that you have to really vote for the right person. You have to little bit check who is the right, because if you don't vote for the right person, some wrong person will be voted, and then you will have problem in future. Maybe not now, but in future. So it is your responsibility to vote, for the right person. For that you need to maybe do some research, little bit. You need to take some time to see whom to vote, who can do something, especially for the, for the employment. That's what we can see. Somebody who can do something for the employment. And in our country now, we are the youngest population in the world, isn't it? More younger than China. Okay, so we are the youngest people, and as we hear sometime that a lot of people are not employed. So you please see who are the people who can do something about the employment. Okay, create some job. It's very important. People should be prosperous. People should have money. People should have, so that because if you have some sufficient basic money, then your life will go smoothly. Otherwise, you have to worry about so many things. You see, so Buddha is really advising. Of course, he says don't be greedy, but at the same time, he's saying that you need to really work. You need to have some money. You need to work for money. You need to get some money. You see, but at the same time, when you have money, use it for the right purpose. Do some good for yourself and your family and community. Do some charity. You see, so this is what Buddha's advice on I think Buddha's advice for the leaders. You see, so as you choose your leader for the next 5 years, please choose in the wise way, in the right way, in the best possible way. Okay, so I think I'll conclude here with this message for the election, Lok Sabha election. So from the Buddhist point of view, Buddha's advice, of course, as a Buddhist monk, we don't involve in politics, but we can give some, as a Buddha also is a monk, right? So Buddha never involved in any politics. His two big supporter kings, one of the biggest king of his time, they were fighting among each other. Okay, but both were follower of Buddha. So Buddha was he was never with one politician or one king like that. He was neutral. He was totally neutral. So, but at the same time, he had some advice he had some advice on how can a leader be. And there is one more teaching where Buddha says how a country can survive, cannot decline, how it can continue to thrive, continue to survive. Maybe in some other topic I can share with you. So it is about, one of the things was about unity, you see. So this is what Buddha's advice is. And it is something important because as we have seen in the first teaching, that it impacts the nature as well. It impacts the nature as well, you see. So poverty, poverty is an enemy. It can, maybe you are not so poor and you have money and you can manage, but then if the majority of the people in the country are poor, and they don't have much, so then there can be a vast problem in the country, as we can see in this teaching, how they become corrupted, how people become corrupted, people tell lies, people cheat each other. You see, this is what people do. And then it has impact on the nature, on the sun and moon and day and night and the season, everything, including the food, you see. So ultimately you have to eat the food that is produced by the farmers. You cannot produce food, and that food is also corrupted because of the vast majority of people who are corrupted mentally, you see. And you can see how unemployment is the source. That's what we can see from this teaching. So unemployment should always be the the issue, you see. And this is what we see even in developed countries like Europe. We still see a lot of problem in the job market. We can still see there are a lot of problem there as well. You see, especially a lot of immigrants, refugees who are there, and they don't have jobs, so there is a problem there. So that's what we hear from the people there as well. You see, so one message today for this on politics. You see, so please keep in mind, and I hope you can participate in this democracy that we have, very nice democracy that we have. So we have to keep it, protect it, and for our future, because you are again going to be reborn, right? You have to be reborn again. So you may think I die, I'm gone, so I don't worry. But no, you have to be reborn, right? So you think about your next life, your next life as well, right? So we have to think long term, in a very long term, right? Because unless you are fully enlightened, you are not free from the birth and death, right? You may be reborn as a human being as well. So you have to think for the long term as well, your own way. I mean, it's not just for the country, but it is you as well, because you are also part of this country, part of this world. You see, so we should have a very bigger idea and vision about the world, about yourself. Okay, so with these few words, we come to the conclusion of today's program, and we see you next Sunday. Maybe 6:30 because of the summer. We are going to start at 6:30 from next Sunday. Okay, so 6:30 to 7:30 because it's too hot. And we have Buddha Purnima on 23rd. So please mark the calendar. It's a whole day program here. So please do come, mark your calendar. And you are all welcome with your family and friends. Everybody is welcome to celebrate a very important, powerful day. It's a full moon day, Vaishak full moon day. It's a day when Buddha was born. He got enlightened. He passed away on the same full moon day, Vaishak full moon day. So you're all welcome for that. Okay. So we conclude here, and we thank all of you for coming and joining every Sunday, and we wish all of you good health, peace of mind, happiness and joy. And we also now wish for the happiness of all the beings in the universe. Sukhe bhaveyane dokho ahane cham hita chane sukhe honto majjata chathaverino imam he gama khetam he satha honto sukhe sadha tato paranchara jeso chakhavale sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu. And I also wish we get rain soon. Okay. Okay, see you next Sunday, 6:30.